You enjoyed it.
I don't know what to say, Father. I'm afraid I just got carried away.
I anticipated this, my son.
You couldn't have. You couldn't have imagined.
How good it felt. You are revealed to the world. Very well. So be it. But you still must keep your secret identity.
Why?
The reasons are two. First, you cannot serve humanity 28 hours a day.
24.
Or 24, as it is in Earth time. Your help would be called for endlessly, even for those tasks which human beings could solve themselves. It is their habit to abuse their resources in such a way.
And secondly?
Second, your enemies will discover their only way to hurt you by hurting the people you care for.
Thank you, Father.
Welcome back for another deep dive.
Oh, this is a good one.
It really is.
Yeah.
Today we're looking at how AI could be used to capture and share wisdom.
Like from experts,
Yeah.
people who really know their stuff.
You're going deep into a conversation between three guys, Mark, Steve, and Michael.
Mark is the one who kind of started this whole project, I think.
Yeah, he's like the driving force.
The instigator.
Yeah, and Steve is like his colleague. They work together.
Yeah, and he's got that big picture thinking.
And then Michael is bringing in like a fresh perspective.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he's got this personal connection to it too, which is really interesting.
Yeah, so the big question here is how can we use this technology, this AI, to really bottle up that expertise that you can't just get from reading a book?
It's like taking an apprenticeship or something, but with AI.
Right, exactly.
It's like being mentored by a digital ghost or something.
It's wild. So Mark's initial inspiration comes from this guy, Robert F. Bales.
Oh, yeah, Freed. They called him Freed.
Freed.
He was a social psychologist.
Yeah, brilliant guy. But Mark feels like his work has been kind of overlooked, you know?
Forgotten a little bit.
Yeah, and he wants to use AI to kind of bring Freed's teachings back to life.
Like a resurrection?
Yeah, make it interactive. So it's almost like you're having a conversation with Freed himself.
Like a one-on-one.
Yeah.
With a legend.
It's mind-blowing. Okay, so now this is where it gets really interesting. Mark is on this quest to find these missing tapes.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Recordings of Freed's group therapy sessions at Harvard.
Wow.
And these tapes are like gold dust because they capture Freed's actual voice, his thinking process.
Oh, so the AI can learn from the source directly?
Exactly. It would be like the key to creating an AI that truly reflects Freed's unique perspective.
So it's not just like spitting out facts from a textbook?
No, it's like it understands how he thought, how he approached problems.
Fascinating.
But the problem is they're missing,
Oh, no.
like vanished.
So what's Mark doing about it?
He's on the hunt. It's like a detective story, and the clock is ticking to find these tapes before this precious knowledge is lost forever.
I hope he finds them.
Me too.
There's a question about what role art has played in my career, and of course the real question is what role has it played in Simlog, because they don't seem to fit together very well. Of course there are diagrams and other artistic hoped for touches in Simlog, but nevertheless, the relationship is much closer than you might imagine. My first lessons in art were at the age of 13, when my mother decided that my drawing should have some support. So she put me to study with an old lady nearby, and I copied a calendar picture of some hunting dogs. I wanted to paint, but there never was time to paint, and I still have that problem. I have my easel all set up in my basement, and I have the paints all laid out, and I look at them longingly as I work away at the word processor. But it isn't just a distraction or an avocation. It's really a matter of a theory of what I'm doing when I'm painting, and the theory of color plays a very important part in it. Color has 3 dimensions, as color theorists explain it, and the Simlog space has 3 dimensions. In color theory, there are complementary colors. They oppose each other. In the Simlog space, there are values which oppose each other. In fact, it's primarily a theory of the way in which values cooperate with each other and oppose each other. In an ideology, you have a selection of certain values for emphasis, a selection that picks up certain values that are similar to each other. And the ordinary classification of ideologies into 3 kinds, namely authoritarian, democratic, and some other one which is oppositional, radical, usually called radical of some kind. Those are different parts of the Simlog space, and those are values. And authoritarian values, well, there are a number which kind of fit together. A desire to be dominant is usually a part of it, or an emphasis on dominance and submission as a way of solving problems of human relationships, as a way of getting work done. And authoritarianism usually has some negative aspects to it also. Well, these 2 characteristics, for example, are opposed in democratic ideology. Democratic ideology says, well, there shouldn't be much emphasis, if any, on differences in status. There shouldn't be much emphasis on authority and being compelled to do things. And it generally has a more friendly feeling than authoritarianism. Well, I don't want to go into the whole set of values involved in the space, but simply to give you an idea that the way in which colors can be harmonious with each other, or complementary, or clashing, or oppositional, has its counterpart in the way values play a part in our behavior. So that's an illustration of a kind of theoretical connection between art, the part of art that I'm interested in, painting, and the psychology of interpersonal relations, and the relations of people in teams, organizations. So one helps the other. And quite literally, I sit there and work on the word processor, turning out words in psychology that I get support for by looking at the picture I'm painting.
Okay, so in the middle of this search, Mark ends up meeting another incredible psychologist, Ellen Langer.
Oh, wow. I know her work.
Yeah, she's famous for her research on mindfulness.
Right, right.
And guess what?
What?
She's interested in a similar project to preserve her own body of work.
So it's not just about Freud or psychology.
Exactly.
This could be used to capture the wisdom of experts in any field.
So I've got Notebook LM on the right side of my screen and YouTube on the left side, and I've got open a YouTube of Ellen Langer. So I copy the URL. I go over back to Notebook. I hit the plus sign. I'm going to add a source, and it's a YouTube. So I click on YouTube, and I just paste in the URL that we just copied over on the left side of the screen, and I insert it. And what it did is added this YouTube video to my list of sources that I've got in my notebook. So right now I've got, looks like 17 sources. So it's already ready to roll. So I asked the question, give me 3 exercises I can do to become more mindful. And I click on the arrow. It thinks just a bit, and here's my answer. I'm going to stop this right now so we can talk about this. So I said, again, give me 3 exercises I can do to become more mindful. And a notebook and the AI went out into my 17 sources and came up with this answer. Here are 3 exercises you can do to become more mindful based on the sources you provided. All right. So notice 3 things, 3 new things. When you're in a familiar environment, try to notice new things about it. Second, ask why when you feel better. When you notice a symptom, your experience is better than it was before. Ask yourself why. And the third idea here is challenge your assumptions. Make a conscious effort to question the things you think you know. Let's ask another question. What role did Ellen's mother play in inspiring her career? Fix a quick typo here. Hit the arrow. Okay, let it think just a bit. Okay. Ellen's mother played a pivotal role in inspiring her groundbreaking research into the mind-body connection. The sources highlight how Langer's mother battled, how her mother's battle with breast cancer sparked her interest in exploring the potential of the mind to influence physical health.
Imagine capturing the knowledge of a master chef.
Yeah, or a world-renowned musician.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's where Steve comes in. He's like, okay, we need to think bigger. We need to go beyond just academia.
Capture the wisdom of people in all sorts of professions.
Yeah, people who have that practical, hands-on expertise that you don't always find in books.
The stuff you learn from years of experience.
Exactly. Like Steve brings up his work with Mayo Clinic.
Oh, wow, one of the best hospitals in the world.
Yeah, and he's like, imagine if we could capture the insights of their top doctors and nurses, make that knowledge available to everyone.
Especially new doctors just starting out.
Yeah, it could be revolutionary.
And then